All right, welcome back to the channel. This is your brother Lawrence. Someone shared with me this video on WhatsApp, a very good video that talks about the recent clash between the Pope and Donald Trump. And I was searching for the full video, but I could not find it. Yes, I could not find it. And I want to ask the question, has anyone come across this particular video on YouTube or on Facebook? I mean, the full video. Has anyone come across the video? In fact, the video makes a lot of sense. And so I just want to share the part I got with you and listen to the sense that the gentleman who was preaching was making in the video about the recent issue between the Pope and also Donald Trump. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get into it and listen to this short clip.
Trump and the Pope are clashing. And Trump represents evangelical Protestantism and the Pope represents, well, we know what the Pope represents. In the end, both represent who? God or Satan? And yet the whole world is being pushed into either the Trump camp or the Pope camp over the war with Israel and Iran. And right now, the whole world is being pinned into these two camps, and it's putting these two men head to head with each other. Now, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and all these American politicians are saying, Israel, Israel, Israel. Well, if the false prophet and the first beast are going to connect and link up, well, then they should be on the same side, right? That means the papacy is now pro-Israel. But look at what the Pope said. The Palestinian population has a right to live in peace in its own land. Those two words right there are massive because it's the Pope rejecting the claim that Israel, that's rightful to the Israelites and those who call themselves Israelites in the Middle East now. And here Trump is rejecting, the Pope called for a ceasefire. Trump says no, I reject the ceasefire. King of the North, King of the South, pushing at each other. And people say, well, isn't the papacy the King of the North? Remember, we are no longer in the era of the papacy. That ended in 1798. And then it's deadly wound era. And who rules during that deadly wound era? That's where America comes in. And then the deadly wound is healed. So the end result of this is actually America wins this battle. We'll watch. We'll see how it plays out. But right now they're pinned against each other, creating this friction. This is Hegelianism in real time. Vatican rejects chosen people claims. So this is mainly what the false prophet is espousing these days, is that Israel are still God's chosen people. And here's what the Vatican said back in 2010. We cannot give approval to this movement, that is, that the Israelites are still God's chosen people today. We cannot prevent the Jews from going to Jerusalem, but we could never sanction it. The earth of Jerusalem, if it was not always holy, has been made holy by the life of Jesus Christ. Is the dirt in Jerusalem holy today? No. What causes something to be holy? The presence of God. The presence of God can make holy. So you've got this whole Catholic system, which I find fascinating. Have you heard SDAs be called a cult before? Does anyone in here pray to Ellen White? No. Oh, that's weird because Catholics pray to Mary. Which one's the cult? So the earth of Jerusalem, if it wasn't holy, it was after Jesus' life. I, the Pope speaking, as the head of the church, cannot possibly say otherwise. The Jews have not recognized our Lord, therefore we cannot recognize the Jewish people. Is that true? Actually, it is. That's why you got to be careful with the papacy. Not everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie. Just like when the serpent spoke to Eve, not everything was a lie. It was just enough to place doubt. And in this case, he's absolutely right. They rejected Jesus, so how can we possibly say they're chosen? Those who are chosen will follow God, and it's not because God has arbitrarily chosen them, but because they have used their free will to accept the free gift in Jesus Christ. So all of this is leading to a great unification effort amongst Catholics right now. Look at what it says. It says, this is why we are going after Catholics right now. They're going after Catholics right now. Catholicism is uniting in opposition to the never-ending wars in Israel. Liberal Catholic, conservative Catholics agree Israel sucks. That's all they need to start uniting. This is the whole point of us knowing prophecy. The law and the testimony, God gave us the guiding markers, because if you're not careful, you'll start uniting over things with people you don't agree with just because you don't like, let's say, the war. That's what it's meant to do. We're dealing with powers so much higher that, yes, they will even use wars to manipulate the mind. There's a lot of people that say, oh, well, there's too many people involved for that to happen. The way these things work, the power is compartmentalized in such the hands of the few, the dissemination of that, people are just following orders for the most part. They don't even think twice. Look at the UK right now, what the police are doing to their own citizens. Under Pope Leo, Catholic opposition to the Iran war is building faster than any religious resistance movement in American history. You're either for the war, this camp, don't like the war, well, now you're finding sympathy with Rome. Cardinal McElroy called it morally illegitimate. Bishops across the country followed. So now the papacy is taking a moral high ground. And in the face of absolute lunacy, like someone saying something that makes sense and appealing to morality doesn't sound so bad. This is how the devil works. He's making Rome look good in the wake of this military conflict. And what's the response? What's happening in the pulpits and in the churches? Well, we're seeing Catholic converts in the USA has reached a 20-year high. Have you heard, was Candace Owens? Catholic now. You've heard all these famous people are converting, people are moving and shifting towards Catholicism. Sympathy with Rome is at an all-time high, with Catholics on track to become the largest single religious group, surpassing American evangelical Protestants. That's not good. They'll come together. Right now they're clashing a bit, but they'll come together. The Archdiocese of Chicago set a record number of adults. The papacy and the United States, they're clashing. They seem to be clashing over these things. But what they really want is the synthesis. Here's the dialogue. We can have a dialogue, but I don't want a ceasefire. That's how the President of the United States dismissed the moral authority of the first American Pope. So what you're actually being pushed into is, are you accepting the power of the state of America, or are you accepting the power of the church in Rome? Those are the two camps you're being pushed into. Even the Orthodox are coming together with the Pope against the war. It's the great unifier. It is unifying everybody either for the war or against it. And now all you just need is a little transition or some miracles to bridge whatever difference there is left. That friction is being caused. It's going to end exactly as the Bible says. So we have 2 slides left, this one and one more. And look at what happens. Right now the evangelicals and the papists, pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, there couldn't be more opposite. Yet look at what she says happens. When the state shall use its power to enforce the decrees and sustain the institutions of the church. Oh, we already read that one. It's this one. Protestants will work on the rulers of the land to make laws to restore the lost ascendancy of the man of sin who sits in the temple of God, showing himself to be God. Roman Catholic principles will be taken under care and protection of the state. So even though there's friction right now, this is all moving towards the acceptance of Roman Catholic principles. We have to remember that the Protestant daughters, it's their time now. She said the papacy has had its day and it's past. Now her daughters, the Protestant sects, were the next to come on the stage. Is that what Revelation 13 says? Yeah. It's that power coming on the stage to give power all the way back to the first beast. And finally, if the reader would know how papists and Protestants united. Right now they're divided. But the friction will cause a unification. And when they are unified, remember I said there were 2 parts. There was the part where the church is using the state. The second part comes civil penalties for dissenters. Watch what happens when papists and Protestants united deal with those who reject their dogmas. Let them see the spirit which Rome manifested toward the Sabbath and its defenders. Are you going to be a defender of the faith? If so, be ready to drink from the same cup as Jesus.
Is that not Brother Matthew, who was previously with Amazing Discoveries? Hi Matthew, if you're watching this video now, please let me know if that was you. Let me know in the comment section. But I love the video. I love how the man was actually making sense, telling more details about the clash between Donald Trump and the Pope. In fact, the video was very, very good. And, according to the video, the clash is causing people to sympathize with the Catholic Church. And I believe that is true. Now, new developments concerning this same issue we're talking about, the clash between Donald Trump and Pope, is that Catholics, the Catholics, especially those in the US, are pushing back against Donald Trump. They are calling Donald Trump to apologize to the Pope. And not only to the Pope, to the entire Catholic Church and also to all Christians for attacking the Pope. So the Catholics are actually offended and they are pushing back. So let's listen to some of the Catholics, especially their bishops that are pushing back against Donald Trump. This is what they said.
I think he owes Catholics and Christians everywhere an apology.
You think he should apologize to the Pope?
Oh, I think he should apologize to the Holy Father for the attack he gave him on Twitter, because I think it was disrespectful.
As a Christian and a Catholic, I've had enough. I've just had enough. I've supported many things he's done. I'm actually in favor of what we're doing in Iran, but this country needs real leadership, and what we're getting now is an absolute disgrace. And Americans need to stand up because it's disgusting.
I think it's deplorable that the President of the United States would take aim at our first American Pope, and instead of working together and having an understanding to attack is the wrong way to do it.
It is sickening to splice together movie cuts with actual bombing and targeting of people for the purposes of entertainment is sickening. This is not who we are. We're better than this.
So these were Catholics that spoke against what Donald Trump actually said or did to the Pope. And when you visit X, you're going to see a lot of Catholics actually pushing back against Trump, telling him to apologize to the Pope. But the question is, will Trump do it? Will Trump apologize to the Pope? I believe that Trump is not going to do it. And even if he decides to do it, I don't think that he will do it publicly. Instead, he will do it privately. Yes, if he decides to apologize, he's not going to do it publicly. He's going to do it privately. That is what I think. Yes, that is what I think. So, friends, let me know what you think about the clash between Donald Trump and also the Pope. And do you think that Donald Trump will apologize, even though the Catholics are calling him to do so? Do you think he'll do that? Let me know that in the comments. And I also believe that top SDA pastors like Pastor Professor Walter White will also make video about this situation, because Adventists want to listen to them, Pastor Professor Walter White and Doug Batchelor and the rest, Adventists would like to listen to their perspective on the clash between the Pope and also the President of the United States. All right, so friends, I want to leave you here. I want to pause here because this was just a short update that I wanted to share with you about what is going on between the Pope and also the President of the United States. But before I go, friends, please check out these healthy spices from our own brother. It is time that we need to support the businesses or the products of our own, products coming from 7-Day Avenue. So please check out these spices from our own brother. May God bless you for watching. See you again.
Do you think healthy food has to be bland? Well, we used to think the same way because we kept running into the same problem. Healthy food just did not taste good. We were constantly having to choose between wellness and taste. But everything changed when we created Tasty Eden. Now we come to believe that food should heal, not hurt. And this is exactly what these seasonings do. Clean ingredients, but packed with real flavor. No MSG, no fillers, no artificial preservatives, none of that stuff that is not good for our health. If you like to see these seasonings in action, go to the 3ABN app and type in my last name, Brainy, because my wife and we did 2 hours worth of cooking for 3ABN today, showing people how they can use these seasonings. And let me tell you, so far, the reviews have been very positive. We have a special gift for you. You go on our website and you use this code, Lawrence, and you'll save 12% on your order. If you're serious about what you put in your body, this is for you. Trust me, once you try it, there's no going back. Taste it once and you will understand. Our contact information, www.tastyeden.com, where you can call or text us, 423-567-0568, or you can email us, info@tastyeden.com.